wasn't sealed with the beast! He was born from it!
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Naruto Was the Son of Kurama movie. Before we start, please go support jazmingiordan for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Naruto is a male. Chapter 1. Normal POVs. All was silent in the Valley of the End, where two bodies lay floating on either side of the water. Then one of them began to move. It was a boy no more than 12 years old, with silky, tousled golden hair like the sun, sapphire blue eyes like diamonds, and delicate, slightly tanned skin. 3 whisker-like marks adorned his cheeks. He had a slender build, wide hips, and wore an orange and blue jacket and orange pants, the latter slightly torn from a fight. This was Naruto Uzumaki. The blonde boy slowly walked toward the other unconscious body, another boy a year older than the blonde, around 13 years old. He had silky, tousled black hair, eyes as black as onyx night, and pale skin. He wore a blue-collared shirt, white arm warmers, and white pants that reached his knees, also torn from a fight. Naruto, I never wanted this to happen, but you left me no choice, Sasuke thought, looking at the unconscious body without a scratched tusk, I'll say, he said, grabbing his left arm. The blonde boy tried with all his might to carry his friend's body to Konoha, but he found it difficult to walk due to exhaustion. So he went slowly but surely, carrying Sasuke's body on his back, careful not to harm him. Hours passed until he finally reached the gates of Konoha, where everyone was already waiting for him. Tsunade, seeing the two boys, ran over, worried about the blonde boy's well-being, and quickly approached them. Tsunade, Naruto, are you all right? Let me help you. Naruto, yes, I'm fine, Tsunade Oba-chan. Tsunade, Minato should never have sent you on that mission. Naruto, don't worry, Tsunade Oba-chan, it was my decision to go on that mission and the others. Tsunade, they returned from the mission badly injured, only Shikamaru is okay. Naruto, I understand, he said, looking down. Tsunade, don't worry, you did great. She said with a motherly smile as they walked, as soon as we get there, we'll take care of you, okay? Naruto, yes. As soon as they arrived in Konoha, everyone was there celebrating, and Tsunade was very serious, as was Jiraiya. Tsunade, what is all this? Jiraiya, ask Minato and Kushina, he said angrily. Tsunade, Minato, Kushina, what is all this? Minato, Tsunade, take Sasuke to the hospital. Tsunade, okay, come on, Naruto. Minato, Naruto won't go with you. Tsunade, what, Minato? Naruto won't go with you because he's officially banished, he said, proud of his decision, a decision he would later regret. Tsunade. But she was silenced by the blonde, who shook his head with a smile. Naruto, leave it like that, Tsunade Oba-chan, you won't change my mind, it's best if I leave. No. Naruto, you finally woke up, Naruto. Sasuke, yes, and I won't let you go, Dobi, he said, sounding a little hurt. Naruto, don't move around so much, team, if you don't want some broken ribs. Tsunade, Minato, what you're saying doesn't make sense. Naruto helped in the mission to bring Sasuke back to Konoha, she said angrily. Minato, I don't care, he's just a demon and he can't be in Konoha, he must leave. Sasuke, if Naruto leaves, I'm going with him, he said seriously. Minato, Sasuke, you can't leave Konoha. Sakura, if Sasuke-kun can't leave, the village needs you. Sasuke, I don't give a shit about this village, I'm leaving. Tsunade, me too. Jiraiya, I'm going with Naruto too. Minato, fine, you can go, Konoha doesn't need you. Tsunade, alright, Naruto, prepare everything we need with Jiraiya's help. Naruto. Jiraiya, yes, Tsunade, and I thought that the day would come when you would be banished from the village, so we prepared some things. Tsunade, although Sasuke is not in a condition to travel. Sasuke, HMPH, of course. Minato, you can leave now, he said with some ANBU behind him. Tsunade, alright, Sasuke, get on Jiraiya's back. When we get to a place to rest, I'll heal you, but for now we must hurry. I'm sure Minato will send those ANBU to kill us, she said as they began to walk. Sasuke, why yes, he said, climbing onto Jiraiya's back. Tsunade, Naruto, I'll take you, we need to go quickly. Naruto, sure. The two Sannin started running very fast, but were alert to any surprise attack from any Konoha ANBU they might try to make. Luckily, there were none. A few hours passed until they stopped in a clearing. It had already gotten dark, so they set up camp. Tsunade, alright Sasuke, you should lie down here, she said, pointing to a sleeping bag. I need you to be comfortable so I can heal you. Sasuke, okay. Sasuke lay down on the futon and Tsunade began to carefully heal him so as not to hurt the little Uchiha's body any more than it already was. Tsunade, I heard you were seeking revenge against your brother Itachi, is that true? Sasuke, yes. Tsunade, don't kill him. Sasuke, and why didn't he kill my entire clan? He said angrily. Tsunade, Sasuke, there's something the council and the Hokage didn't tell you about Itachi and the Uchiha massacre. Sasuke, what? Tsunade, Itachi was forced to massacre his entire clan to protect Konoha and to protect you from Danzo. No one was allowed to tell you anything, but since we're not in Konoha, I'll tell you now. Sasuke, thank you for telling me, he said thoughtfully. Tsunade, that's enough for now. I'll let you process this information I just told you. So Tsunade left, leaving Sasuke deep in thought while Naruto was talking to Jiraiya. Naruto, they shouldn't have done that, now they'll be hunted. Jiraiya, that doesn't matter, kid. Konoha just lost 2 of its best Sannin and 2 of its best ninjas. Naruto, are you talking about me and Sasuke? Tsunade, I have no doubt that you two will be very powerful in the future. Naruto, are you serious, Titebu? He said with a smile. Jiraiya, we don't believe it, we're sure. Look at you mastering the Rasengan in a month, even though Minato doesn't know it, and Sasuke mastered the Chidori in a year, but he did it. Naruto, you know I want to ask you a favor. Jiraiya, sure, tell me. Naruto, well. Chapter 2. Normal POVs. Naruto, I want you to teach me the Flying Thunder God technique. Jiraiya, are you sure about the Flying Thunder God technique? Naruto, yes. Tsunade, Jiraiya accepts. Naruto is a prodigy, he can learn the Flying Thunder God technique quickly if you teach him. Jiraiya, well, Minato is the one who uses the Flying Thunder God technique, but I think I can get some information about that technique, and the other thing I don't know if it's possible. Naruto, why not? Jiraiya, Uzumaki is protected by a barrier and there are also whirlpools of water. Tsunade, but surely the Uzumakis put something in the barrier so someone could get in. Jiraiya, you're not talking about. Tsunade, yes, the blood of an Uzumaki. Naruto, what does Uzumaki blood have? Jiraiya, with a little of your blood the barrier will surely let you through. Naruto, so we can go in then. Jiraiya, it's just a guess but we won't know until we test it. Tsunade, it's decided we'll go to Uzumaki and live there. Naruto, we will restore Uzumaki to its former glory and make it a very powerful village. Jiraiya, that's interesting. A village that was thought to be destroyed rises again from its ruins. Naruto, Konoha will be forgotten. Tsunade will have to seek alliances with the other villages then. Jiraiya, regarding alliances, I'll take care of investigating the villages. Naruto, okay, thanks for helping me. Tsunade, Sasuke, you should be resting. Sasuke, I have to go look for Itachi. Naruto, not that again, you stay lying down, you need to rest, team. Sasuke, but. Naruto, no buts, now rest. Sasuke, fine, he said, reluctantly entering the tent. After a while, everyone went into their tents and went to sleep. The next morning, everyone was jumping from tree to tree because Naruto had sensed some chakra signatures belonging to some Konoha ANBU. So they had to leave their camp as fast as they could until they reached the coast of Nami no Kuni, where they found a huge bridge called Naruto's Great Bridge, which made the blonde boy happy since at least some people liked him. But without wasting any more time, they went to Tazuna's house where he was sitting resting in a wooden chair. Naruto, Tazuna-san. The blonde boy shouted happily. Tazuna, When he saw where the voice was coming from, a smile formed on his face and he stood up. Naruto. Naruto, hello again, Titebu. Tazuna, what are you doing here without the rest of your team? Naruto, well, I was exiled and Tsunade, Oba-chan, Iro-senin and Sasuke team decided to accompany me. Tazuna, what do you mean you were exiled? He asked, surprised. Naruto, that's right. Tazuna, I can't believe it. Naruto, well, that doesn't matter. I wanted to ask if you could give us a map of this place. Tazuna, sure, while I look for the map, come in and have some tea. Tsunade, of course. Tazuna went to look for the map while the four sat in the living room waiting, until they saw a boy run in with a puppy that Naruto recognized as Inari, Tsunami's son. Inari, Okasan, look who I found, but she stopped when she saw who was there. Naruto, big brother. She shouted, jumping into the Uzumaki's arms. Naruto, it's good to see you again, Inari Titebu. He said, returning the hug while a dangerous figure looked jealously at the little one. Tsunade, so this is the little Inari you were telling us about when you first got back from Naru's mission. She said, looking at Inari. Naruto, yes, it's him. Inari, Okasan, Naruto, hello Tsunami-san. Tsunami, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-san, hello, and who are they? She asked gently. Naruto, she is Tsunade Oba-chan and he is Iro-senin. Jiraiya, brat, that's not my name, miss, I'm sorry, but my name is Jiraiya. He said, and when he tried to kiss Tsunami's hand, Naruto kicked him, sending him flying. Naruto, don't listen to Iro-senin, he's always like that whenever he finds a beautiful woman. Tsunami, oh okay, would you like some tea? Tsunade, yes of course. Tsunami went to the kitchen to prepare the tea, leaving the others in the living room talking. Inari, and what are you doing here? Naruto, Oni-chan, are you on another mission? Naruto, well, something like that. Inari, and what is its mission? Naruto, look for Uzumaki, he said, but seeing Inari's face made him curious. What's wrong? Inari, they say that village has been cursed ever since the massacre of a clan, she said fearfully. Why are you going there? Naruto, because it will be our new home. Inari, but no one could enter that village. Many have died trying to enter. Naruto, well, we have a way to get in. Inari, seriously, Naruto, yes. Tazuna, I'm back with the map you asked for Naruto. Naruto, thank you, he said, placing the map on the table. Jiraiya, well, Uzumaki is supposed to be here, he said, pointing to the end of the map. Tazuna, are you sure about going to Uzumaki? Tsunade, yes, very sure. Tazuna, okay then, I'll lend you my boat. Naruto, thank you Tazuna-san, if we need any help, we'll tell him. Tazuna, yes, I'd be happy to help you. Tsunade, those brats. Naruto, they probably came secretly with Uruka-sensei just like the other two. Jiraiya, what can we do? Tsunade, we can't separate Naruto from those who truly wanted him. Naruto, let me talk to them first. Tsunade, of course, go ahead. Naruto calmly left and then began jumping from tree to tree until he reached the place where those people were hiding. Naruto, Uruka-sensei Konohamaru, Udan Mogi Tuche Ojisen I am Nichan, what are you doing here? Uruka Naruto, well you found out about us and when we learned you were exiled we left Konoha. I am, besides it wouldn't be the same without you in Konoha. Konohamaru, besides who will teach me cool jutsus and train me? He asked, hugging the blonde boy who immediately returned the hug, also because my training won't be the same if you're not there to teach me. Naruto, okay you can come with me. They all followed Naruto to Tazuna's house where everyone was already waiting for them to begin the journey. They said goodbye to Tazuna and his family then left peacefully. Uruka, then we'll go to Uzumaki, he said thoughtfully. Naruto, that's right. Konohamaru, I can't wait to get there. Udan, me neither. Mogi, I wonder what it will be like. Tsunade, well it will probably be destroyed because of the war the Uzumakis had against two villages. Mogi, why did the Uzumaki massacre happen? Tsunade, from what I've heard the Uzumakis were very powerful but they didn't like to fight although they did have a somewhat bipolar attitude so to speak. Naruto, Tsunade Oba-chan, what happened to Shisyun? Tsunade, I told him to find us a place to stay and to send me a letter when he finds it. Sasuke, and what happened to them? Tsunade, I burned it just in case Kushina or one of those two brats started looking in my room for something to learn, but the village is very close and not very well known, so no one will suspect we're there. Naruto, awesome. After a few hours of walking, they arrived at the village where Shisun and her pig Tun-Tun were waiting for them. They went to their accommodations, and once everyone had their rooms, they went to sleep. Chapter 3. Normal POVs. It was a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, and lots of laughter could be heard coming from Udan, Mogi, and Konohamaru, who were chatting about some pranks they played on Uruka before leaving town. Uruka was telling them what not to do, but it was obvious the three little ones weren't paying attention. Naruto, he laughed while looking at the small group. Tsunade, they remind me of someone, she said with a smile, glancing sideways at the blonde boy. Naruto, Jiraiya, are you talking about that time when Naruto put a bunch of nails in Minato's chair? Tsunade, hahaha, she couldn't sit down for a whole week. Jiraiya, what's more, he's still looking for the culprit behind that prank. Tsunade, haha. Naruto, he deserved it, Titebyo, he said proudly of what he had done. Sasuke, so it was you, Dobi. Konohamaru, damn, the boss is one step ahead of us. Mogi, we need to try harder. Udan, yes. After an hour's walk, they reached the sea where a fishing boat was waiting for them. Tsunade, well, if we see Tazuna-san again, we'll thank him for the boat. Shisyun, yes. Jiraiya, okay, who goes first? Konohamaru, me. Mogi, I think Naruto-san already beat you, she said, looking at the blonde boy on top of the boat. Konohamaru again, the boss thinks fast. Sasuke HMP. Once everyone was on board the boat, they began sailing on the very calm sea. Some started fishing, others sunbathed, mostly the women, while Naruto just sat down to meditate. Naruto's mental space. The place was very eerie with poor lighting and a sewer system where the water reached ankle deep. But that wasn't all. In front of Naruto was a huge golden cage, and in the middle was a piece of paper with the kanji for cello written on it. Behind the bars were two blood-red eyes with slit pupils and a wide grin revealing sharp, dangerous fangs. Any normal person would have run away, but who said Naruto was normal? The blonde boy just started approaching the large bars that kept him away from that huge face, but the closer he got, the more he could see that what was there was a huge nine-tailed fox with orange fur. Naruto, hello Kurama Odo-san, he said with a smile. Kurama, hello puppy, so we're going to Uzumaki. Naruto, that's right, does the idea bother you? Kurama, not at all, actually it's the best. There you can learn a lot about Fuinjutsu, Taijutsu, and Kenjutsu of your clan. Naruto, I could even learn how to free you from that cage so you can get out. Kurama, I won't be able to leave completely, I would kill you since this seal makes our two chakras become one. Naruto, I understand but I'm sure I can find something. Kurama, I hope so, pup, I hope so. Naruto, well, I'll change this damn mental space I have. Kurama, and who taught you those words? Naruto, well, I always hear you say them when you curse Minot. Kurama, I need to stop saying those words, he whispered, looking away, but then turned his gaze back to the blonde, but just because I say them doesn't mean you have to say them, understand? Naruto, yes, father. Kurama, good thing I don't have to hear you say those words again. Naruto, well. Naruto then proceeded to change the place, transforming it into a meadow with some trees, a waterfall with a lake, a very beautiful cabin, and some animals. Kurama, I didn't know you could put animals in your mindscape. Naruto, me neither, but that's good, that way you won't feel so alone even if they're imaginary. Kurama, hahaha pup, the three brats are talking to you, you'd better wake up. Naruto, okay, goodbye dad. Kurama, goodbye pup. Outside of mental space. Konohamaru, boss. Naruto, what's wrong? Konohamaru, we're almost there, but there's a problem. Naruto, what's the problem? Mogi, there are whirlpools ahead and I don't think we can get through. Naruto, don't worry, I'll take care of it, he said, standing up from where he was. Tsunade, you're awake. Naruto, that's right, he said, looking at the giant whirlpools, they really are big. Jiraiya, yes, do you have something planned? Naruto, well yes, but I don't know if it will work. Shisyun, that it won't work. Naruto, well, I'll put some of my blood in the water. Shisyun, what if it doesn't work? Naruto, we will die, he said calmly. Shisyun, and she says it so calmly. Tsunade, well, we don't have anything else to do, so we're trusting you, Naruto. The blonde man barely noticed that they were already a little close to the whirlpool zone. He grabbed a kunai and cut his palm, letting some of his blood fall into the water. When the blood made contact, the whirlpools began to disappear, as did the barrier that prevented them from seeing the village. When they saw Uzumaki, they only saw rubble and some buildings that had at least survived. Naruto, he remained silent upon seeing his home village reduced to rubble. When Sasuke saw the blonde boy like that, he hugged him from behind, saying nice things to him. Sasuke, don't worry, Dobi will fix it. Naruto, you're right, we'll fix it and make it very beautiful. Tsunade, we could ask Tazuna for help, don't you think? Naruto, yes. Jiraiya, I'll go find Tazuna. Tsunade, Shisyun and I will accompany you. Uruka, will you be able to look after these three? Uruka, yes, don't worry. Tsunade, Naruto, you. Naruto, I'm going to take a walk around. Tsunade, alright. Sasuke, please accompany Naruto. Sasuke, yes. After that, Shisyun, Tsunade, and Jiraiya left, leaving the others to see the village that had once been so beautiful. Naruto, how sad that this village will end up like this, he said, looking at the place sadly. Sasuke, it's a shame that a village with such a powerful clan ended up like this, he thought, also looking at the place. As they walked, they talked about anything and everything to distract Naruto. Although Sasuke wasn't good at conversation, he tried to distract the blonde boy and make him laugh. After spending an hour exploring the very large village, night had fallen, so they arrived back at the place where they had gotten off the boat. Uruka and the others were already waiting for them, sitting down. They ate something and then went to sleep in their tents. Chapter 4. Normal POVs. 2 days passed and everyone started cleaning up the village. They removed the rubble that was lying in the middle of the street, some weeds and trees that had grown in the streets. Although it was hard work, they enjoyed it. Then they saw more people helping, and that's when they realized Tazuna was coming with his men to help them. Naruto, thanks for coming. Tazuna, well, I had to help you with something after what you did with your team. Naruto, hehe, and how are Zabuza and Haku? Tazuna, well, we just watched. As soon as I told them I was going to help you build your village, they didn't hesitate for a minute to come. Naruto, hihi, what can you do, Titabio? Tazuna, well, we're going to have a lot of work to do, he said, looking around. We're going to have to demolish some buildings to build new ones, some markets, plant some trees in some places, plant crops, right? Naruto, yes, I want people to have crops when they come to live here. Tazuna, well, and we'll also need to build another bridge so people can cross to this village. Naruto, if the bridge is finished, I'll have to seal it so no one can pass until we finish the whole village. Tazuna, okay, for now we'll start with the inside. Everyone started doing their part. Naruto created many clones to help others, and since they had already finished cleaning up a bit, they began to demolish some buildings that were almost destroyed in order to build new ones. Naruto, Konohamaru, can you help Haku with the rubble? Konohamaru, yes boss. Naruto, thank you. Tsunade, here you go Naruto, she said, handing him a very large piece of rubble. Naruto, thank you, he said, grabbing the rubble. Here, Iro-senin. Jiraiya, thank you. Everyone was helping each other a lot. Hours passed, and they had everything ready to start building some buildings. Although it was extremely difficult, they did their best to make it work well so that in the future the village wouldn't have problems with earthquakes or anything like that. They continued like this almost all day, with some breaks for a few, while Naruto's clones took care of what they left unfinished. The blonde boy was so happy that everyone laughed at everything he said. Sasuke, you should rest too, Dobi, he said, making the blonde sit down next to him. Naruto, but I want to continue with the construction Tebio, Tsunade. But if you get tired, you won't be able to do anything and you'll have to rest more. Naruto, okay, you rested a bit, he said, dispelling his clones, hey T-team, he said, blushing. Sasuke, Naruto, see can you let go of my hand? He said nervously, although he didn't mind being held by the Uchiha's hand. Kurama was another matter. Sasuke, oh why yes, sorry, he said, blushing slightly. Tsunade, she remained silent, watching the scene unfolding between her nephew and his friend. What a cute couple they would make, she thought with a mischievous smile. Georgia, something tells me Tsunade is planning something, and I just hope she doesn't involve me in her plans, he thought nervously, looking at the blonde. Shisyun, what a cute couple they make, she thought, blushing. Konohamaru, what's wrong with these two? He whispered, looking at the three adults. Naruto, thank you Tsunami-san for the drink, he said, taking the glass. Tsunami, you're welcome, I'm glad I brought drinks for everyone, she said with a smile. Haku, yes, thank you very much Tsunami-san. After the break, they continued with what they were doing, although the children later went to play away from the construction. They had even invited Inari to play since they got along well with him and his dog. Everyone was busy doing their part, although Naruto eventually separated from everyone because there was a very large tower that had caught his attention since they had arrived. Naruto, Kurama father, what do you think of this tower? He asked, looking at the tower. Kurama, this must be the Uzukage's tower, why don't you go see what's inside? He asked from inside the blonde. Naruto, well, I don't have anything else to do since my clones are helping the others, he said, entering the tower. Upon entering, the blonde man saw only a very pretty room with some paintings depicting what Uzushigakure used to look like. He then noticed a staircase and began climbing it until he reached a hallway with more paintings of people and some doors. He continued up another set of stairs and saw another, somewhat small hallway. At the end of it was a door with a beautiful golden swirl decoration in the center, which was surely made of gold. He approached the door, but when he tried to open it, he couldn't. Naruto, how strange, he whispered, trying to open the door. Kurama, pup, you must put your blood on the door since it's sealed. Naruto, oh, he grabbed a kunai and cut his palm, placing his hand on the door and staining it with his blood. When the blood came into contact with the door, it began to glow, causing Naruto to close his eyes tightly. But when he opened them again, he saw the door open by itself, revealing a beautiful office with large windows overlooking the outside. There was a dark brown wooden desk with a dark brown leather chair, a black velvet rug, dark wood flooring, cream-colored walls, a small bookcase with some scrolls, a very nice dark wood cabinet with some white decorations, and a white chandelier. Naruto, how elegant, he said, fascinated. Kurama, well, the Uzumakis were very elegant since they belonged to royalty. Naruto, I see. The blonde man began looking through the library books, even the scrolls on the shelves. Then he ran his fingers over the desk, noticing it wasn't dusty at all, but there was a letter that said, Chapter 5. In the previous chapter. He approached the desk and ran a finger over it, noticing that there wasn't a speck of dust, but there was a letter that said, In the present. Normal POVs. The blonde man grabbed the letter, very curious, and opened it, taking out 2 pieces of paper that said, Letter. If you are reading this, it is because our village was destroyed and our people were massacred, but some of our clan are still alive since they were not in the fight that day. So if you returned, it is surely because you are looking for answers about what happened to the survivors, and what I can tell you is that they are surely in hiding and have false identities so that no one knows they are from the Uzumaki clan. Because if someone finds out, they will surely be in danger of being captured and used as breeding machines or weapons for war, since we are very strong and our blood is very special. POSADTA. Below this tower is an underground tunnel that will lead you to our ruins, which are scattered throughout the ninja continent. In these ruins, you can train and learn all about the histories of your villages. I hope this helps. There are also many weapons and much knowledge of our clan, among other things. We will also leave you many summoning scrolls and all our heritage, which is sealed beneath this tower. You only need to put a little of your DANHRE in for the tunnel to open. Well, that's all. Good luck. ATT, ASHINA UZUMAKI. The blonde man left the letter in its place, sitting down in the leather chair to process everything he had read. Naruto, so they left many things sealed. Kurama, it was obvious if you think about it, the Uzumakis left many valuable things here that many people would want. Naruto, I understand, so I should go to the basement. Kurama, it's your decision, pup. Naruto, anyway, sooner or later I'll have to go, so I'm going, said, standing up from his chair. Upon leaving, he went downstairs until he saw another set of stairs leading downwards, so he headed that way, but when he was at the bottom, all he could see was darkness. Naruto, I should have brought something to light things up, he said, touching the wall. The blonde man had barely taken a step when torches began to light on their own, revealing a corridor illuminated by a dim light that created a terrifying atmosphere. Naruto, awesome, he said, starting to walk calmly. Even though my clan belongs to royalty, these tunnels are scary, he said, noticing some swirled decorations on the walls while the floor had a red carpet with gold edges. Naruto walked for about an hour until he reached a huge room that, like the hallway, had lit itself up, revealing a golden chandelier on the ceiling. The walls were off-white, the floor was made of almost dark brown wood, and in the middle there was a large round table with some very nice chairs. Behind the table was a map of the entire ninja continent with some markings, and there were 2 hallways on either side of the room. Kurama, look behind that map. Naruto, okay. The blonde man approached the map behind the table, noticing that there was another room behind it that had a very nice and spacious training area. Naruto, so this is where they train. The blonde man also saw a shelf with many scrolls, so he approached and grabbed one, seeing that it was about Fuinjutsu, but it also contained his heritage. He left with a scroll in his hand and left, leaving the tower closed, starting to run to where the others were. Naruto. Tsunade, where were you, Naruto? In the Great Tower, he said, pointing to a tower that stood out from the others. It's the Uzukage's tower, and what's more, it's intact. Jiraiya, intact. Naruto, yes, there was a seal that kept her protected from everything. Tsunade, interesting, and what was there? Naruto, nothing important, just a letter that said what he had left me and some tunnels that lead to the Uzumaki ruins. Uruka, ruins. Naruto, yes, ruins that are scattered throughout the ninja continent. Jiraiya, so there are underground paths too, right? Naruto, that's right, and the paths are connected to the village. Tsunade, that's good because we'll be able to travel to other villages without being discovered, right? Naruto, if the ruins are inside the villages. Jiraiya, awesome. After that, everyone continued working on the construction of the village. Although they were going very slowly, they had no doubt that the village would be beautiful in the future, and that idea made the blonde boy, who was the fastest worker with his clones, very happy. Jiraiya, not so fast, Naruto, he said with a smile, seeing the blonde boy so happy. Naruto, I'm just so happy I can't stop now, Iro-senin. Jiraiya, haha, it shows. Everything remained calm, although there was no complete silence due to the noise of the workers. The day was very beautiful. They continued like this until night fell, and then they all made a campsite where they pitched their tents and built a campfire where they were all now sitting. Naruto, we're not going to destroy that tower, he said, looking at the Uzukage tower. Tsunade, well, we won't. If you said it was intact, I don't think it's necessary to destroy it, she said, looking at the fire. Jiraiya, we should start thinking about buying seeds to plant. Sasuke, I could take care of that with Uruka-sensei, he said seriously. Uruka, of course. Konohamaru, can I go? Uruka, will you behave? Konohamaru, yes. Uruka, all right, you can come with us, but don't start asking for things, he said, looking seriously at Konohamaru as if he were a mother. Tsunade, well, Uruka, your inner mother has come out, she said mockingly. Uruka Tsunade-sama, he said, blushing. Shisyun hada. Everyone was chatting and laughing about anything and everything since they were having a great time. Besides, the stew Tsunami had made was so delicious that there wasn't a crumb left. By the time everyone was full, some started going into their tents to sleep, while others stayed a little longer. But little by little, everyone went to sleep, leaving only Naruto, who gazed at the starry sky with a smile until Kurama told him to go to sleep since they would have to continue rebuilding Uzumaki the next day. So Naruto went into his tent, lay down in his sleeping bag and fell asleep. Chapter 6. Normal POVs. 2 years had passed since the village of Uzumaki was destroyed, and people from other villages who had been expelled or from nearby towns had arrived. Some rogue ninjas who wanted to rebuild their lives had gone to Uzumaki where they were accepted without question. Naruto, the new Uzuka of that place, treated everyone equally and with respect. No one was ostracized. That's why everyone adored him, even though many men no longer found the blonde boy attractive. They knew they had no chance with the Uzumaki since he was with an Uchiha named Sasuke, who now knew the whole truth about Itachi, as Itachi had told him in person. So he went to Uzumaki to live with Deidara. They had left the Akatsuki organization a year and a half ago. It should be said that the two were living happily there. Now we find ourselves in the Uzuka Tower, where we can see 2 blonde men, one signing papers while the another one was talking to Tsunade. Naruto, what do you know about Konoha? He asked seriously. Tsunade, well, let's just say that after you left, your stupid brothers lost all of Kurama's power, she said in the same tone since she knew the Kyubai's name because Naruto had told her, not to mention that their military power among the ninjas has decreased significantly, as has their economy. Naruto, I see something else. Tsunade, as we said before, Suna severed ties with Konoha a year ago, ever since they learned you were no longer there. Naruto, it seems Gaara was able to become Kazekage of Suna. Tsunade, that seems to be the case. Naruto, anything else to report, Oba-chan? Tsunade, no, that's all Jiraiya told me before leaving on a mission. Naruto, okay, you can go, they must be waiting for you at the hospital. Tsunade, yes, well, goodbye my little one, she said, giving the blonde boy a hug which he happily returned. Naruto, goodbye Oba-chan. The woman left, leaving Naruto with his clone in his office doing his work. The blonde boy started studying as usual, his Fuinjutsu was already at level 3. The blonde boy was lost in thought when someone placed their hands on his waist. How are you? Asked a deep voice. Naruto, I'm fine, Sasuke, you idiot, he said with a smile on his face, and you idiot, how are you? Sasuke, I'm happy to have my brother by my side, to know what really happened, and having you by my side is the best thing that ever happened to me, he said, clinging tighter to the blonde, putting his face against the other's neck. Naruto, not here team, he said, noticing how the raven-haired man's hands were going under his clothes. Sasuke, Dobi, it'll only be for a little while. Naruto, okay, but only for a little while. Lemon skipped. Sasuke, we'd better change, Dobi. Naruto, yeah, right, even though I told you it was just for cuddling, not hex Titebio, he said, putting on his boxers and pants. Sasuke, but you liked it, didn't you? Naruto, why yes. After the two boys changed, Sasuke left since he had to talk to two new ANBU members who had joined that morning, leaving the blonde to continue with his work until he heard the door open. Hello. Chapter 7. Normal POVs. A woman who was Naruto's secretary entered the office, walking slowly until she was standing in front of the blonde man. Naruto, what's wrong, Kima? He asked with a kind smile. Kima, Naruto-sama, you have a letter and someone who wants to see you, she said respectfully, handing him a letter. Naruto, anyone want to see me? Tell them to come in, Titebio. Kima, yes. The woman left, leaving Naruto, who picked up the card and noticed it had a Konoha seal. He looked at it curiously but left it on the table since someone had knocked on the door, so the blonde boy let him in. Naruto, Orochimaru, what a surprise to see you here, Dadabeo. He said, looking at the snake Sannin with a happy smile. Orochimaru, hello Naru, how have you been all this time? He asked with a smile. Naruto, alright, will you stay? Orochimaru, yes, tell me how is Jiraiya? Naruto, very well, although I missed you, but now I'm on a mission. Orochimaru, I see, when is he coming back? Naruto, tomorrow morning. Orochimaru and Tsunade, Naruto, she's doing great, Titebio, how's your project going? Orochimaru, well, I'm getting closer to a cure for those children who have diseases. Naruto, that's great. He said, relieved, that will help Tsunade Oba-chan. Orochimaru, yes, I saw her looking very tired since those children got sick. Naruto, you're right, Tsunade Oba-chan hasn't been able to rest very well. Orochimaru, well, I'll continue with my work on Kabuto then. Naruto, yes, how is Karin? Orochimaru, it's good, the truth is she's very happy that they're not using her anymore. Naruto, I'm glad. Orochimaru, well, goodbye. Naruto, goodbye. The man left while Naruto turned around in his swivel chair to look out the window at the beautiful view of his village, where he could see that beautiful sunset. But then he looked again at that letter that filled him with curiosity, so he picked it up and opened it. Naruto, he remained silent for a while, reading the letter, until he gave a mocking smile. So you want us to go to that damn village, huh? Well, it would be a good idea to see how Konoha is being slowly destroyed by the lack of economy, hahaha. The blonde man took a piece of paper and began to write on it, carefully choosing his words. When he finished, he put it in an envelope and then left his office, where he went to see his secretary. Naruto, Kima, I want you to give this letter to one of our mail carriers and have him send it to the Hokage of Konoha. Kima, yes, Naruto-sama, I'll deliver it to you right now. Naruto, thanks. When you give it to her, you can go home. Kima, yes. Naruto, and say hi to your family for me, Titebio. He said with a smile. Kima, of course, Naruto-san, she said with a smile. The secretary loved working with Naruto because he treated her very well, unlike her previous jobs where she was mistreated. Besides, the blonde had helped her separate from her former partner, who wouldn't let her go anywhere because he was so toxic. She was very grateful to Naruto, and her family loved it when he came to their house to see how they were doing in the village. Needless to say, those who entered Uzumaki never left, and it wasn't because Naruto wouldn't let them, quite the opposite. People felt so comfortable in that village that they had no intention of leaving. The blonde went off to continue signing the remaining papers. Naruto, that's right, tomorrow I have to go see how the academies are doing, he thought, signing the last papers he had left on the desk. He arranged the papers and left them ready for Kima to pick up tomorrow and left. Upon leaving the Uzumaki Tower, he began strolling through the streets of Uzu. Same-sex couples were everywhere, a normal sight, and no one criticized them. On the contrary, many people supported them. They had run away from their villages because their families didn't accept them for their preferences, and upon hearing that they weren't criticized in Uzu, they had come to live there to be together. This was a beautiful sight in the eyes of the blonde man, who enjoyed seeing these happy couples. He was so focused on watching the couples that he hadn't noticed he had arrived home, and at that moment he was grabbed by the small arms of three little people. Naruto, Udon Mogi Konohamaru hello Titebyo, he said with a smile. Konohamaru/Mogi/Udon hello, Naruto, what are you three doing all alone and where's Uruka-sensei? He asked, looking at the three children who were smiling nervously. Konohamaru, we lost him along the way hehe. Naruto, he sighed with amusement, those three looked a lot like him, it's best to wait for Uruka-sensei. Konohamaru, I'm going to, but he didn't finish speaking because he heard someone shout angrily, and that person was Uruka who was coming at full speed. Uruka, why did you three run away? Naruto, hello Uruka-sensei Titebyo. Uruka, hello Naru, he said with a smile. Naruto, kids, don't make Uruka-sensei's job difficult, understand. Konohamaru/Mogi/Udon, yes, Naruto, well, Konohamaru, say goodbye, okay. Konohamaru, yes, goodbye guys, see you tomorrow. Udon/Mogi, goodbye Konohamaru. Uruka, goodbye Naruto, you're going to the academies tomorrow, right? Naruto, yes, first I'll go see the civilian academy and then the ninja academy. Uruka, okay, goodbye. Naruto, goodbye. And while Konohamaru had been adopted by Sasuke and Naruto, and Uruka was taking care of Udon and Mogi, Kakashi was acting as a spy in Konoha at Naruto's request. Obviously, Hadake wanted to go with the blonde boy since Uruka would be there, but he had to be the informant for everything that was happening in the village. To do this, he had to pretend to be against Naruto, although it wouldn't be long before he could leave for Uzumaki since everything was going according to Naruto's plan. Naruto/Konohamaru, we're here. Sasuke, hello. Konohamaru, father, you'll never guess what I did at the academy. Sasuke, what did you do? Konohamaru, I was the first to beat my teammates. Sasuke, I'm proud of you, little one, he said, ruffling Konohamaru's hair, who started to laugh. Naruto, the food's ready, he said as he went to the dining room. The blonde boy always left a clone of himself at home to clean and prepare dinner, so everyone sat down to eat peacefully. After finishing their meal, Naruto washed the dishes with Sasuke's help, while Konohamaru had gone to his room. After a while, the two went to Konohamaru's room to give him a good night kiss. Naruto, get some rest, you have to get up early tomorrow. Konohamaru, yes, good night. As soon as Konohamaru fell asleep, the two went to their room to lie down. Naruto put his head on Sasuke's chest and they fell asleep. Chapter 8. Normal POVs. We found Naruto somewhat nervous, as a bunch of children were surrounding him and asking him many questions, something the Uzumaki had never gotten used to be honest. Naruto, okay, calm down one at a time please, Titebyo, he said with a nervous smile. Child 1, you are very pretty. Naruto, thanks Titebyo. Child 2, why do you always say Titebyo? Naruto, well, it's a verbal tic I inherited from my mother, Titebyo. Girl 1, does she have children? Naruto, well, I adopted Konohamaru Databe. Girl 2, Naruto-sama, my mother did this to you, she said, giving him a kiss. Naruto, oh, thank you so much, Titebyo, he said with a beautiful smile, and how are you all doing at the academy? Kids, great. Naruto, I'm glad, and the village. Girl 4, she is very beautiful. Naruto, I'm glad you like the village. We really put a lot of effort into making it. Girl 1, Naruto-sama, when will you tell us the story of this village? Naruto, well, I could tell you now, Titebyo, although please don't call me Sama. Girl 1, yes. Naruto, well, when we arrived at this village, my homeland where the Uzumakis lived was destroyed. Child 2, and why was it destroyed? Naruto, because 3 villages joined together to destroy the village and kill the Uzumakis. Girl 1, that's very cruel. Naruto, yes, but some Uzumakis who weren't in the village managed to survive, and my mother, Kushina Uzumaki, was rescued and taken to Konoha, but she abandoned me for my 2 brothers as well as my father, he said angrily. Girl 3, your parents are very bad. Naruto, yeah, hehe, but my godparents and some friends I made in that village followed me and stayed with me to help me rebuild Uzu, and that's why the day after tomorrow we're celebrating the rebirth of our village, Titebyo. Girl 3, my mother is preparing a lot of food for the celebration picnic. Naruto, I think everyone is eagerly awaiting the celebration, right? Child 1, well, you always make your best appearance with Kurama-sama. Naruto, and do you want to see Kurama? Girl 3, can we? Naruto, of course. Naruto summoned Kurama, who was half asleep, and the children approached the great fox to touch him. Kurama didn't mind at all. He always enjoyed the children's caresses and felt loved. After a while, Naruto had to leave for the other academy, so he said goodbye to the children and sped off to the other academy where they were already waiting for him. First, they walked through the hallways to the classrooms and ended up in a huge training field for the children. Naruto, well, I see everyone's putting in a lot of effort, Titebyo. Uruka, if they want you to be proud of them. Naruto, well, I'm already very proud of their great effort, Titebyo. Some of them remind me of myself when I started at the academy. Uruka, you were a complete disaster. Naruto, hehe. Uruka, but over time you've matured so much that I must admit you surprised me. Naruto, seriously, Titebyo. Uruka, yes, I'm proud of the person you've become. Naruto, even Konohamaru wants to be like you when he grows up and is following in your footsteps. Naruto, hehe, I think Konohamaru will be better than me someday. Uruka, you have a lot of faith in him, don't you? Naruto, I know I'll be someone strong someday, Titebyo. Uruka, you're right, she'll graduate very soon. Naruto, yes, there's a week missing, right? Uruka, that's right, Udon, Mogi, and Konohamaru are very good students and I think they'll make a great team. Naruto, I know, I just hope these peaceful days in this village don't end. Uruka, Naruto, you did a great job with this village. We even have all the other villages as allies. Naruto, that was with your support. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to. Uruka, you're a very good boy, Naru, and everyone in this village loves you because you gave them a chance to change. Naruto, Uruka-sensei, do you think it's time to bring Kakashi-sensei here? Uruka, that will be your decision, Naru. Naruto, by the way, how are things with your partner, Titebyo? Uruka, how do you know? He asked, blushing. Naruto, in this village, everyone knows everything that happens. Let's just say there will always be gossips, Titebyo. Uruka, I see, hahaha, well, we had a date yesterday and it went well. Naruto, I'm glad. Uruka, and what are you going to do about Konoha's invitation? Naruto, I already said I was going, so I just need to mentally prepare myself so I don't beat everyone up, Titebyo. He said angrily. Uruka, hahaha, you never change, Naruto. I never said I was going to change, Titebyo. Uruka, you're right. Naruto, Rabbit, what's wrong? Rabbit, Naruto-sama, the letter arrived on time for the Hokage, but he wants you to go to Konoha today. Naruto, and why today and not tomorrow? Rabbit, said the faster the better. Naruto, okay, tell Sasuke to pack some things. Rabbit, yes, Naruto-sama. Uruka, so you're going to Konoha, he said as soon as the ANBU left. Naruto, that's right, Uruka-sensei entrusted Konohamaru to me. I don't want to take him, I'm afraid he'll get hurt. Uruka, don't worry, I'll take care of him until you return. Naruto, yes, don't worry, I'll be back before the celebration. Uruka, good. Naruto, I have to go home. Sasuke must be waiting for me and I'll help him pack. Uruka, well, goodbye, Naru, and take care, both of you. Naruto, don't worry, Uruka-sensei. Sasuke and I are the strongest, believe it. Uruka, I know, but I'm still worried. Naruto, okay, I promise to take care of myself. Titebyo, goodbye. Uruka, goodbye. The blonde boy headed home at high speed and entered, seeing Sasuke packing some things into 2 backpacks. Naruto, team, do you have everything? Sasuke, yes, Dobi, I just need to add the weapons. Naruto, leave it like this, I'll prepare the weapons. Sasuke, okay, I'll go get the food your clone made. Naruto, good, Titebyo. The blonde boy put the ninja weapons in his backpack. The weapons were a bit too big to fit in the kunai pouch. Then Sasuke arrived with the food in a van. Once everything was ready, they headed towards the gates of Uzu. Along the way, many wished them luck on their journey and a safe return, even though they knew the 2 boys were very strong. Naruto had left Shisyun with the paperwork until he returned. Sasuke, are you ready? Naruto, yes, let's go to Konoha. Chapter 9. Normal POVs. Naruto and Sasuke were walking peacefully with 4 ANBU with them. The day was very beautiful and peaceful, something they greatly appreciated, although the blonde seemed pensive. Sasuke, are you okay? He asked, glancing at Naruto with concern. Naruto, yeah, it's just that I wonder how Kakashi-sensei is doing. Sasuke, don't worry, we already told him that as soon as we leave Konoha he'll come with us. Naruto, yes, but he had to live in that damn Konoha to give us the information, and I hate that he has to be in that disgusting village. Sasuke, well, this will be your last day in that village, so relax. Naruto, you're right, Titebyo. Sasuke, of course I have it, Dobi. Naruto, don't call me Dobi, teams. Sasuke, HMPHRMY Dobi, he said, giving him a fleeting kiss on the lips that made the blonde blush. Naruto, you're a jerk, he whispered sheepishly. Sasuke, but I'm your team. Naruto, Sasuke, we'd better get to Konoha quickly if we want to leave early tomorrow to arrive in Uzu before the festival. Naruto, yes. They all started running at great speed without stopping until they reached Konoha, but seeing it in that state brought Naruto great happiness. Finally, that village that had hurt him so much was paying for what they had done to him. But when they tried to enter, some ninjas stopped them upon seeing Naruto. Ninja 1, what the hell are you doing here, demon? Rabbit, more respect for the Uzukage. Naruto, calm down, Rabbit. The truth is, you shouldn't lower yourself to his level. We came to speak with the Hokage because I received a letter from him asking me to come. Ninja 1, oh yes, come with me. The ninja guided them to the Hokage Tower, though along the way they could see the poverty the village was suffering. The villagers, upon seeing Naruto, only gave him dirty looks, something the Uzumaki completely ignored. When they arrived at the Hokage's office, it no longer had a door, so they walked right in, and Minato was surprised to see Naruto. Naruto, so what did you want to talk about, Hokage? He said coldly. Minato, Naruto, what are you doing here with Sasuke? Naruto, isn't it obvious? Sasuke, Naruto is the Uzukage of Uzumaki. Naruto, and Sasuke is my future husband, he said with a smile. Minato, so you already have a partner, son, he said happily. Naruto, don't call me son because I'm not, he said angrily, looking coldly at Minato. Minato, I understand you're upset with me for banishing you from the village, and I'm sorry. Naruto, not only did you banish me from the village, Minato-san, he said angrily, and Minato was saddened because he hadn't called him father. You left me with a miserable life in this village. I had to live on the streets eating garbage in the cold. You kicked me out of both my clans by putting Mito and Menma in as leaders, but in the end I ended up being the leader of the Uzumaki clan. I also banished my brothers and my mother from the clan because they were a disgrace to the Uzumakis. Minato, you banished your mother and your brothers? He asked, surprised. Naruto, so don't be surprised to see Menma or Kushina with white hair and less chakra, he said calmly but without losing the seriousness on his face. Now let's talk about why you asked me to come. Minato, about that, he remained silent for a while, thinking about what he was going to say since his hopes of uniting the villages were fading just by seeing Naruto's annoyed face. I want us to unite our villages and form an alliance, he said firmly, trying to make sure that what little hope he had left went to hell. Naruto, are you asking me to form an alliance with this disgusting village? He asked angrily. He didn't like having his time wasted, especially if it was an alliance with Konoha, which he considered disgusting. Minato, yes, our economy has dropped too much as well. Many Jounin, Chunin, and even Anbu left the village and never returned, so many ninjas have also disappeared and the academy is a complete disaster. Naruto, but didn't they have Mito and Menma, or did they turn out to be useless after all? He said, amused by the older blonde's nervous face. Minato, well, so what do you say about uniting the villages? Naruto, are you kidding me? He asked while staring intently at Minato, who swallowed hard. Uzumaki will never form an alliance with Konoha, not in a million years. He said amused, besides not after everything they did to me. Sasuke, we should go now, Dobi. Naruto, don't call me Dobi team, but we really should be going now. And by the way, Minato-san, he said, glancing sideways at the older blonde who raised his head to look at him. We're leaving for the village tomorrow morning, so we'll stay overnight. After that, the two boys left, leaving Minato deeply saddened by the loss of his only worthwhile son. His other two children were good-for-nothings who couldn't do anything right. Furthermore, Kushina could no longer use any of her chains, no matter how hard she tried. If she managed to pull one out, it would quickly vanish, leaving her unconscious for 3 days. Meanwhile, Minato pondered what he could do. Naruto and Sasuke were walking peacefully through the deserted streets of Konoha when they saw Kakashi approaching them. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, he said, hugging him while the silver-haired man returned the hug. Kakashi, hello Naruto. Sasuke, you've grown so much, he said with a smile that wasn't noticeable because of his mask. Sasuke, hello. Kakashi, as cold as ever, you never change, he said amused. Naruto and Kakashi-sensei, how were you? Kakashi, well, from one place to another, Minato ordered Sakura to keep an eye on me, but I distracted her with one of my clones, he said simply. Naruto, and what about Kushina Menma? Kakashi, as you told me, they can't use as much chakra as before, and Kushina can't even pull out a chain. She was unconscious for 3 days. Naruto, well, and Naruko. Kakashi, well, she. Chapter 10. POV Normals. Kakashi had informed the two boys who were listening attentively of everything that was happening in Konoha, and the blonde boy could only smile as he heard how the village he lived in, the one he was born in, was now slowly crumbling simply because it hadn't been properly valued. Naruto, thank you so much for telling us everything, Kakashi-sensei. Titebyo. Kakashi, you're welcome, Naru. Besides, I owed you one for not being able to go eat ramen with you, right? Naruto, you owed me that, but as soon as we leave you're coming with us to Uzu. Kakashi, it would be an honor to go with you. I have nothing left to do here and my debt to Minato is paid. Naruto, I also have a surprise for you, Titebyo. Kakashi, surprise for me? He asked, confused. Naruto, yes, but I won't tell you anymore. Kakashi, haha, okay, see you later, I have to go to the Hokage Tower. Naruto, okay then, see you tomorrow. The silver-haired man vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving the couple alone. They continued on their way, searching for a place to stay, though almost no one would let them in or the prices were too high. Of course, for the two boys, this wasn't a problem. In any case, they headed to where Ikaraku's ramen shop used to be, seeing that it was abandoned. "Naruto, what do you say, team?" he asked, glancing sideways at the raven-haired boy. "Sasuke, it's the best we have." "Naruto, you're right." The two boys entered through the back door, noticing how dirty it was inside, though it wasn't surprising since it had been a long time since anyone had cleaned the place. In the end, they both started tidying up so they could sleep comfortably. "Naruto, what do you want to eat?" he asked, turning on the stove. "Sasuke, anything is fine." "Naruto, then I'll make stew." The blonde man prepared all the ingredients he would need and began cooking while talking to Sasuke about their upcoming plans for Konoha. "Naruto, should we destroy it now, don't you think?" he asked as he placed the food on the makeshift table. Sasuke, yes, I think so too, but you know we have to prepare all those bombs, right? "Naruto, as soon as we get to Uzu, I'm going to order you to make bombs, Titebyo." "Sasuke, Kakashi could be a great help. He knows some secret places where the ANBU can enter." "Naruto, yeah, although seeing how security is in Konoha, I highly doubt they'll be able to find out which ninjas entered." "Sasuke, you're right, but prevention is better than cure." "Naruto, well, if that's true." The two began to eat peacefully, listening to the dogs barking outside. After a while, once they had finished eating, they changed their clothes and went to sleep. The next day, the two boys were already at the gates of Konoha, where they saw Kakashi waiting calmly for them. "Naruto, this is weird, Kakashi-sensei. You almost never come early, Titebyo," he said, suspicious of that ninja who had a somewhat peculiar chakra. XX, well, you know, I had nothing to do, he said, sounding a little nervous. "Sasuke, nice try, idiot," he said from behind the ninja, then pierced his back with a chidori. "Naruto, did he really think we were going to believe he was Kakashi-sensei, Titebyo?" he asked amusedly. "Sasuke, he's an idiot, there's nothing you can do about him," he said seriously. "Kakashi, hello," he said, arriving late as always, "and what happened to him?" "Sasuke, he impersonated you." "Naruto, probably under Minato's orders." "Kakashi, yes, it's possible. He asked me to go and investigate his village, but I refused." "Naruto, well, what are we waiting for?" "We can go now, right, Kakashi?" "Yes." They all started jumping from branch to branch at great speed, with some of the blonde ANBU following them from a distance. A while passed. No one wanted to stop yet, but night was approaching, and at least they were a great distance from Konoha, so they could rest easy. "Naruto, we could stop here," the blonde boy said with a smile, looking at the perfect spot to set up camp. "Kakashi, you're right." Nobody said anything else, they simply agreed to set up camp in that place. Many had gone to gather wood, others to fish, and those who remained began to pitch the tents. "Sasuke, hey Dobi," the raven-haired boy called, glancing sideways at the blonde. "Naruto, what's wrong, team?" "Sasuke, don't you think it's too quiet here?" "Naruto, now that you mention it, yeah, it's very quiet, quieter than usual, Titebyo," he said seriously, watching as those who remained got into fighting stances. Suddenly, some Konoha ninjas appeared, whom Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke recognized very well. XX, wait, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, what are you doing here?" One of the ninjas asked, looking at them confused. "Naruto, Shun, is that you?" "Shun, yes, but what are you doing here?" "Naruto, well, we started our journey to Uzu a while ago because the Hokage wanted to talk to us, believe it." "Shun, I see." "Naruto, and what are you doing here?" he asked, noticing the Konoha ninja headbands with a cut, implying they were rogue ninja. "Shun, well, I think you've already noticed we're renegades from Konoha." "Kakashi, they left Konoha a week ago, didn't they?" "Shun, that's right, and you, Kakashi?" he asked, looking at the silver-haired man who no longer had his headband on. "Kakashi, well, I also left Konoha today, I was undercover." "Shun, so you're on Naruto's side, aren't you?" "Kakashi, yes, I was passing information about Konoha to Naruto." "Shun, I see, Naruto, can we go with you?" "Naruto, of course, everyone is welcome in my village, but you know you'll be under surveillance, right?" he asked seriously, staring intently at the rogue ninjas. "Shun, it's fine, we don't have any problem. We know the rules for entering a new village as renegades." The blonde man smiled kindly and invited those who were with Shun to stay with them without any problem. The next day, they had all been traveling peacefully for several hours. They had gotten up early to get as far away from Konoha as possible, until they reached the gates of Uzu where some guards greeted them. "Guard, Naruto-sama, who are you?" he asked seriously. Upon seeing the Konoha headbands, he got into a fighting stance. "Naruto, don't worry, they are."
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.